You've probably heard the term bird flu for years, right? Well, the story you think you know has completely changed. What used to be these isolated regional flare-ups has quietly morphed into a global crisis. We're going to break down exactly how this virus went from a distant concern to a worldwide animal pandemic, who it's hitting now, and, most importantly, what it all means for us. So let's just put it out there, plain and simple. What we're seeing right now is a global animal pandemic. The official term for it is a panzootic, and that just means this isn't a few outbreaks here or there anymore. Nope, this is a persistent, widespread crisis that's affecting animals on pretty much the entire planet. The sheer scale of the damage is, well, it's hard to even wrap your head around. We're talking over 630 million birds lost in just 2 decades. That's from either the disease itself or from the massive culling operations that are needed to stop it from spreading. And the most recent waves, they've brought some of the worst losses we've ever seen on record. But here's where this story takes a really critical and frankly alarming turn. The virus has started breaking its own rules. It is no longer contained to the world of birds. So how in the world did we get here? Let's play detective and actually track the journey of the one specific viral strain that's behind this whole global mess. Okay, this is our culprit. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but H5N1 clade 2.3.4.4b, this is the supercharged version that really kicked off this global firestorm back in 2020. And its secret weapon? It found the perfect delivery service, migratory wild birds. They're like unknowing super spreaders carrying the virus across entire oceans and continents on their ancient flight paths. And this just shows you how ridiculously fast it all happened. Starting in 2021, it just exploded across Europe and North America. By the end of 2022, it had hit South America for the first time ever. And then in 2023, it showed up in some of the most remote places on Earth. We're talking Antarctica and Greenland. Now, it's basically everywhere. So as the virus spread like wildfire, the list of its victims just kept growing. And now it includes some really shocking new members that have scientists sitting up and paying close attention. The main targets, of course, are still domestic poultry. For animals like chickens and turkeys, this virus is an absolute death sentence. Mortality rates get close to 100%. That's why you see these huge, heartbreaking culling operations, like the 58 million birds in the US. It's a drastic move, but it's the only way to try and stamp out the fire before it burns down the whole farm. But what's new and what's deeply, deeply worrying this time around is the effect on wild birds. We're seeing species that used to just carry the virus now dying in massive numbers. Entire seabird colonies are being wiped out. Even endangered species like the black storks in Spain are having mass die-offs. This isn't just an agricultural issue anymore. This is an ecological disaster unfolding right before our eyes. And now we get to the biggest leap of all. This is, hands down, the largest spillover of bird flu into mammals we have ever seen. And it's not just 1 or 2 random cases. It's in wild animals like foxes and sea lions. It's been found in farmed mink, even in pet cats. But the real game changer, the one that made everyone's ears perk up, was its jump into US dairy cattle. That brought the virus right into our food chain and into daily contact with people. And look at this chart. This shows you the speed of the problem. The number of outbreaks in mammals more than doubled in a single year. This isn't a slow creep, it's an explosion. And you have to remember, every single one of these infections is another chance for the virus to practice, to learn how to get better at living inside a mammal's body. Which, of course, brings us to the question that's probably on your mind. Are we next? So right here, it is absolutely crucial to separate the facts from the fear. Let's look at what the actual risks to humans really is. This slide puts it all into perspective perfectly. On one side, you have this massive, out-of-control animal crisis. On the other side, the risk to people remains extremely low. The infections that have happened are incredibly rare, and they've only been in people with direct, long-term contact with sick animals. And here's the most important part. The virus has not figured out how to spread from one person to another. Now, that's not to say spillovers don't happen. They do. And recently we've seen some scary firsts. A fatal H5N1 case in the US, and the first human infections with related strains. But, and this is the critical but, in every single one of these cases, the virus has hit a dead end. It infected one person and then it just stopped. It failed to spread to anyone else. Okay, so if the direct health risk is low for most of us, why does this matter so much? Well, because the indirect impacts, the ripple effects from this animal pandemic, are already hitting us, and hitting us hard. To make this feel real, just look at Spain. Only 14 outbreaks. That's a tiny number. Forced them to cull almost 3 million birds. Think about that. Just a handful of detections, and that's the result. And what does that actually mean for you and me? It means the supply chains we all depend on get shaky. Just like this quote says, these events directly threatened whether or not families could get their hands on a turkey or a chicken for the holidays. And when you zoom out, the economic damage is just immense. We all felt it when egg prices in the US went through the roof. We see it when major food exporters get hit with trade bans. And the cost just to fight this thing? The US Department of Agriculture spent over $1 billion in a single year. This animal crisis is draining resources and shaking up economies all over the world. So where do we go from here? The virus is pretty much everywhere now, so the strategy has to change. It's not about trying to completely wipe it out anymore, it's about long-term management. So what does that global response actually look like? The answer that everyone's agreeing on is an idea called One Health. And it's a simple but really powerful concept. You can't protect human health without also protecting animal health and the health of the environment we all share. It's all connected. So to solve a problem like this, you have to tackle all three things at the same time. So in the real world, what that means is being proactive. It means better surveillance of wild birds so we can get an early warning of where the virus might go next. It means investing in farm security and new vaccines. It means making sure the people on the front lines, the farmers and the vets, are protected. And, it means educating all of us so we know to report it when we see sick or dead wildlife. And that really brings us to the final thought. This virus has proven itself to be incredibly clever and adaptable. It's constantly finding new ways to survive, new hosts to infect. So the real question we're left with is this. As the virus continues to change and evolve, can we? Can our global cooperation, our science, and our vigilance adapt fast enough to stay one step ahead?